Okay, guys, we'll finish up here. As I was just posting on the Discord here, kind of a late surge from Ripple to Bitcoin to take over. Well, it ended up being second place. So obviously, this is something that interests you guys here. I'm glad to do this because there's a trade sitting here waiting for you, and hopefully this holds now. So you have, let's just do a quick review. So now, of course, we have less history here as when I'm just going off the low here of when it hit Binance. So impulse correction, right? Now, there's a couple of, this could be counted a couple of different ways. We don't have clarity here of an Elliott count. So of the two ways that I think you can count it, ultimately, I don't think it matters here. I think we come up with a correction here, regardless of how we interpret this action. And just working from the low here, right? So I've got three pivots. So I've got the makings of a golden corner pocket, right? So now, of course, here's the emphasis. As long as this pivot holds, right, we have 80% odds of making the median line. Now, we don't know when, but we get this leading component, leading indicator component to the geometry. So we could hit it here, hit it here, hit it here. We just don't know. But if we were going to get a true third here and get a 1, 2 and get a real third to a 1, 6, 1, 8, well, that's kind of juicy right there. So now, caveat, do we hold here? Right, so Ripple, with Bitcoin on a tear, Ripple's going to have to stay equally strong to avoid breaking that golden zone, because here we get a buy-side algo that'll be defending there, looking to kick, well, thereafter this target here. Right, we don't know when, right? But if we're going to get a true third here, that's what we're looking at, would be 1, 2, third target here, 4, 5 to get us out of here. Now, into the subdivision, it's a little wonky. So one way you could count this, let me go into white here. You could do it this way. You could go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we get a truncated 5 here. Now let's bring that up here. Go to micro. Okay, so that's one possibility here. So this is deep, but it doesn't overlap. So you could go 1, 2, 3, A, B, C to the 4. We don't overlap the 1, and then we just get a truncated 5th here. We fail, and then this is one big pump wick. It is a 12-hour chart, but yeah, so 3, 4, and we fail to get a new high, right? It's not crazy. I think the alternate here is that we've gone, so if I take that count off, well, let me just finish up on that thinking. If this is the truncated 5, then we've got an ABC to get us to a 2 down here with the potential, right? So remember, an algorithm doesn't care about an Elliott count. So we're just trying to track what they're doing. So can we get a count that would support the idea that we have a good pivot here? Well, whether it's 1, 2 or 1 WXY into this pivot here, we end up in the same spot with the same targets. So I don't know that it matters. So that said, I'll just go with what I think we have here, which is that we've got the 1, then we've got an ABC into a W, ABCX, ABC2. So we end up at the same spot. Shit, doesn't really matter. So here we go. We've got this trade. So there's definitely a trade here. Now, why do we like this trade? Because the risk is so low. Right? So we can just buy it right here, depending, I don't know where this is when you'll see this video. But if we just use first target, right? So we're already, since we're in a golden corner, the caveat is that pivot holds. So there's no reason to go beyond that, right? So the idea is that if we're going to lose the buy-side algo, well, no reason to do this, right? We're trying to get the buy-side algo. We're trying to get in behind them. That's what we're trying to do. So here to the first target, well, there's almost 12 to 1, right? You get the third target if just to, fuck. Ah, shit. Here, I'll do it this way. Trading view, sometimes because of the way it's written, is a real pain in the ass. Okay, so there we go. There's potentially the third stop under the 65. There's 22 to 1. Yeah, I'm not even getting, shit, it's probably more than that. If I get all the way up to there's 22.6 to 1. Right, why would you not take that trade? Right, yeah, you could lose a little money here, but talk about low risk with good upside. So that's about as sweet as they get, right? So I'm already in this trade. So again, you don't need to give it a lot here. Now, just the caveat here. If we do break, okay, that doesn't kill the idea that we could get a corner pocket here. It kills the golden, right? But then at some point, if we get a pivot here, so let's say we come down to 786, right? The odds stay the same here, right? It's always once we get the corner that holds here, so that we still maintain that 80% probability of getting to the median line. Now, if this keeps falling and we no longer have the low here to work with, well, then that breaks down. But right now, there's no reason to go there just yet. Right now, we're just staring at a golden corner pocket. A little unconventional, as this is not lower than this low, but perfectly valid. So this is what we're after here if we're going to get a true third. All right, so with Bitcoin pumping, as I said, Ripple is going to need to show some strength here. Otherwise, you're going to be in and out here relatively quickly. So it's a very low risk. Any help down here? Sell volume's hot. Right? You are definitely down here, but you're just kind of sideways here. We look at the Elliott oscillator here. This, you know, so that may not suit everyone, but the risk is so low, right? So if it holds, great upside. So I don't see a lot else that I can add there. So if you're uncomfortable with that, if you just feel like, oh shit, man, that thing's going straight down, a weird count. Well, of course, you can always just wait to see if we get a reaction coming out here, and then just take the first retrace, right? If you're uncomfortable with this down here at this level, maybe let's see it push out of there. Well, certainly nothing wrong with doing that, right? You're not going to leave. It's not going to go straight here, right? So there'll be likely some little retrace here to get us started into the one of the third, right? Then we got to do a little A, B, C, come down here, and then we're going up. So you don't feel like, oh shit, man, I got to take it or I'm going to miss the boat, right? That's a little FOMO. If you like it, shit, take it. There's very low risk there. If you're just, I'd like it a little better here. I think Bitcoin may be too strong here, and this is going to get pushed lower. Well, then just watch it. You don't have to jump into it. Like I said, this is a long way off. It's not going to go straight, right? There'll be opportunity to get on board. So your call there as to how you approach that. I never don't take a golden corner, right? If I can spot it, I see it. The risk is so low. Yeah, I'm long and strong there. Okay, but a tight stop, right? No reason to hold it beyond that. You could even look left here. We've got this little pivot, so you might just put it underneath that. You don't need to risk a lot here. You don't need to lever up heavily. You know, the other thought is you take a small position here. If it gets some traction, there will be at some point there'll be a little retrace. That's a place to add. Right now, you know, looking stronger, and then the whole thing starts to look better as this low looks better relative to this low. So a series of higher lows. Right, so plenty of ways to trade this in here, but again, there's no reason to lose discipline. Have a stop underneath it. If that's taken out, I'd much rather take the small loss and then drag this thing down here and say, okay, well, I guess we're going deeper for the 2. Then we set it up again. Right, same thing, small amount of risk. Right, so target doesn't move. All right, guys, wanted to certainly be on your radar.